Hey, hope you're doing well. This is Edward today, and want to record a video on how to buy more businesses in the US and how to find more local deals for different means and essentially different strategies. The bigger challenges right now in the market is that there's a lot of deals available, but a lot of the deals available are not that good. They're overvalued, so you're kind of getting into deals that have wrong expectations. So, in order for you to avoid this problem, here's a different alternative, here's a different strategy. So take a look at this video till the end, because I'm going to talk about technical things you can do to actually find a deal in US or in your area to be able to buy a company. So first things first is just really understand where you're going to buy these businesses. What's your area? Is it going to be close to you in most cases? Yes. But again, take a look at your scenario, take a look at your state and try analyzing that state from a different perspective. Meaning, tr tr take a look at your background and take a look at what's actually trending in that state as far as businesses for sale. And the way you can do that is you could go in Biz by Sell and you can look at Biz by Sell and see what's actually selling now. And then you can also understand the economy, the local economy, what businesses are available, what's more trendy, and that way you can understand kind of like what are the top industries in the market. Now, you'll want to classify the industries by the top 10 industries in that market. So you want to have a good understanding what are going to be some of these industries. Now, keep in mind you're not an expert in a lot of these fields at the same time. So let's say if you know one industry, of course you're going to prioritize reaching out to that industry first, and then you're going to reach out to other industries. Now, how you can actually do other kinds of deals in other industries, that's a completely different topic, but you need to also build an ecosystem of operators around you because if you're going to get into a deal where you don't have as much experience, you're going to need that person to potentially be part of your team as an industry expert to run that kind of business. So just keep that in mind. Even though you're reaching out to a lot of different businesses that you might not be an expert in or add as much value in, if you're building that ecosystem of operators, you can also always get in front of them and talk to them and then bring in that operator later to add them more value and to show them that you're qualified to be a buyer for that deal. So that's kind of a side note on that. Now, once you've reviewed all these top, let's say 10 industries, what you can do is you can review the total addressable market on all these industries. And let's say if you looked at all these 10 industries or how many you found in that market, you can sort of see how many businesses are available in that market. Let's say you chose construction, home services, cleaning, I'm not sure, restaurants, whatever you chose, right? So if you chose all these industries, you know typically you've done some research using some tools like Clay or Apollo or some niche ready to go curated lists or scrapers that can show you, hey, there's 2,000 uh, let's say types of businesses in this field. Or let's say there's 500 restaurants, there's 700 gas stations, there's 200 something construction companies and such and such. So you want to understand the actual volume of companies available because this is going to give you an insight into if your campaign is going to be successful. You want to have a total list of around 10, 20,000 businesses. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to have the volume needed to be able to find a proper deal eventually. So if you have, let's say, just 1,000 companies, you might run out of deals or you might run out of leads and people might not reply to you about volume. Yes, you might still get a deal done, but it's not guaranteed. So you want to make sure you have a fairly significant TAM in order for you to do this. Now, here's the data you need. You need the owner name, you need the company address, because you're going to potentially use letters on the most valid leads. You're going to need a company email, the industry, the email, and some additional way of contacting them from through a phone number. Because the strategy is really a multi-channel approach. It's not like you're just going to use one thing and you're going to get in front of them in one thing. You don't really know in any industry where we're going to like deliver you a reply. You want to make sure you're in front of them on all these channels. Some industries prefer to reply on email. Some industries prefer to reply on different other channels like letters and just get back to you on a phone call. Some people prefer to do LinkedIn. You want to be in front of them on every channel to increase your response rate. That's really what works. So it's called a multi-channel approach. Now, as far as like doing this, you need to look into the top first one that you're going to buy because you're not going to go and buy all these lists on all these industries that are very expensive. So again, be very careful about spending too much money at the same time. So if you're doing this, take a look at exactly what is the top one and two and what are the costs and actually think about, okay, so these are going to be the costs to running these things before you start actually purchasing this. Now, here's what other costs you need to be looking at as well. If you're reaching out to, let's say you found 10,000 companies in your local area that you're going to want to go in front of to see if they're looking to sell and generate deal flow. Now, in order for you to reach out to all these 10,000 companies, is you need to set up an infrastructure to get in front of them via email. That's the first thing you're going to do. In order for you to do that, you're going to need to use a tool called Instantly, and you're going to need to use a tool called Namecheap because you're going to actually set up your domains that you're going to then use to reach out to some of these companies. So the infrastructure looks as follows. You have your domains, and then you have your email accounts. And then you have this curated list of businesses you bought or curated lists of all these 10,000 plus businesses you bought. But then you're going to email from some of these domains and some of these email accounts. So ideally, if you're scaling to tens of thousands of businesses, you have in between 3 to 4 domains, right? So 3, 4 different websites you're going to purchase and set up properly technically, which requires technical understanding and you need to actually do it properly. And then you would need to set up on each domain approximately 4 email accounts, which would allow you to have 16 email accounts on some 4 of these domains. And that would allow you to email in between 30 to 50 emails per day from any of these email accounts, which will allow you to email around 400 contacts a day. So if you have a list of 10, 20,000 companies, it means that in a month, you're going to be able to send your first email to all of these companies, which gives you a big reach. It gives you a lot of reach very quickly as a buyer. So let's say if you're doing 400 daily contacts, you'd get 4 replies, to up to in some cases 10 replies. And then out of them, there's going to be people that are not interested, very curious, and that are looking to sell. So your job is to set it up properly. This takes approximately 2 weeks to warm up all your email accounts. It takes a few days to set up your domains. It takes a few minutes to set up your email accounts and to integrate them into Instantly. But then it takes around 2 to 3 weeks to warm up all these email accounts. Now, what you could do, meanwhile, these email accounts are getting warmed up, is you can actually start connecting yourself to a lot of these companies on LinkedIn because you have an owner name, you have a company, you have the information about a company, you can go and find them and you can actually get connected. Typically, you'll do 30 connections a day on LinkedIn. You can get a VA to do that for you. So 30 connections a day. So by the end of a month, you're probably going to have up to thousands of contacts. And again, when you're buying your list of businesses out of that list, what you're going to do with it is you're going to create a sub list of all these businesses that are the most ideal targets for you. And literally, what you're going to do is you're going to go one by one based on size and based on you feeling excited about the company and the deal. And you're going to create a manual sub list of that main 10,000, $20,000 list because the first approach you're going to do on LinkedIn is going to be that more qualified, more interesting list for you out of these 10, 20,000 people. So you're going to do your outbound on LinkedIn to that list. Plus, what you're going to do is you're going to do letters, which are going to be either through this tool called Handwritten, or you're going to use a hybrid letter approach, which is another tool called Click to Mail or Letter Stream. Handwritten, the difference is it's using robots, it's using AI to make your letter look very similar to human writing. And then you can add different interesting things that makes it more human. And then it typically is I think it's a little bit more expensive per letter or per card versus click to mail. I think click to mail is going to be a little bit cheaper. But again, what it allows you to do is if you have that more quality list that you've kind of doubled down on, say you can do 1,000 to up to 2,000 letters and 1,000 to up to 2,000 LinkedIn contacts. which will then allow you to get replies, you will then follow up through phone calls to some of these people that are you've sent already letters. So let's say you've already sent your letters, you've already done a few LinkedIn connections. What you would do the next day is you'd start calling some of these people you connected on LinkedIn. You'd also start calling some of these companies daily that already received the letters while your email infrastructure is getting set up. So email infrastructure takes 3, 4 weeks, let's say, while you're building up your replies from LinkedIn and from the letters. Now in a month, you can start launching your 400 daily contacts from emails. So once your emails are launched, you're going to start receiving a lot more leads because now you're emailing a lot of these other industries, you're emailing a lot of these other businesses. Not only you're on phone calls every day and you're getting replies in, let's say you're getting 1 or 2 replies from phone calls on LinkedIn every day. Now you start getting more leads from emails. So on top of that, you're getting more replies in. So we've done this for clients in the past. This is very technical. It's quite expensive and there's a lot of details that can go wrong. And if you want to set up a system like this to be able to generate your own leads, to be able to get in sellers to find locally so that you can build a better local relationship with them, buy a business, then this is an alternative system that you can run on top of your on-market deal flow to be able to get deals in and to be able to do this. If you want to learn more, just send me a message on LinkedIn. I'm typically more active on LinkedIn and I can show you how this works. We can get on a demo and I can talk about more details on this. Thanks for watching.